Hello, hello. Can you guys hear me? Am I live? Hello, hello. Is my microphone on? I'm going to move this. Hello, welcome. Welcome to my stream. We should be live. Yanalist says, can hear you fine. So I'm here, my microphone works, and we are on the floor today. Why are we on the floor today? Because we're going to be, I thought we were gonna be hammering, but it might not end up being that way. But still, I figured I would really do this project on the floor if you guys weren't watching. And I don't really want to do it on glass tabletop, which is my normal surface. I'm gonna scoot slightly closer to the microphone. I'm here. I'm live. I'm as prepared as I'm gonna get. I've been thinking about this belt. Let's see. Let me get my. Okay, so can't see the belt on this picture. Let me get to the slide. Well, that's not the exact belt, but you can see a good view of the belt. It's not bad. No belt. All right, we got a really okay. This is our best picture of the belt that for right now, because it's the picture I have for reference. Stay on the picture, please, and thank you. It's okay. I'm only live. And Toby and Bruno are here. Bruno's right here. You can see Toby's butt. But we are going to be building Princess Leia's belt today. I should have looked up better at reference images before this, but you know what? I figured I did some prep work beforehand, but what I really wanted to do was figure it out live in front of you guys so you can see my struggles. I have this old belt that I have been just using to belt the dress, so I get an idea of what it is. As a reference, I also have, hold on. No, it's not a TR. This is the Wonder Woman belt. This belt is, I think, too thick for the Princess Leia belt. It's close but not quite right. And I feel like this one's just a little too thin. And so I feel like a happy medium between the both of these two should be just about the right size. And I like having the references so I understand which scale I'm really going for, because if it's in the wrong scale, it'll really bother me and I won't necessarily know why, other than it's just not the right proportions. So this is kind of where our starting point is for today. I have paper. I have this. Now that I'm on the ground, I kind of moved everything around. Okay, I like this ruler. It's a good scale. It has the seam allowances built into it. It's not the best ruler. I like those blue flexible ones that they have for quilting. Those ones are my absolute favorite thing to draft with, but I found this one, so this is the one we're working with. Let me see. Hey, this is Bruno. This is where I'm going to be working right now. Hey, can I scoot this over slightly? I need to. Watch out, Bruno. Watch out, watch out. Thank you. I know that's the best spot, but I need it for my paper right now. Welcome, Yanalith. Hello, Ralph Mork. Happy Tuesday. I'm gaming right now, but I'm present. Well, welcome. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out which camera I'm looking at. I'm going to use this belt as reference for length because I feel like it is the exact right length with no wiggle room. And one of the things about this project is I'm trying not to use anything new, just stuff I already have. So this elastic that I have from a comforter set is going to be the elastic that I use to Velcro, hook and loop fastener, whatever you'd like to call this stuff. The Velcro. I'm going to use this. I'm just going to rip it off of here and add it to here. I'm going to add the extra that I have to have so that this can overlap. And calculate that in whatever the size is. I should measure it. Okay, let me just go back to this view for a second while I figure out. I think I'm going to do this pattern on a fold so I know it's symmetrical. Didn't know it was that size. Okay. Not big enough there. I really like that you can do math on a measuring tape super quickly. I need to divide it in half and then in quarters without even thinking about it. I'm just going to do half though, because it makes life easier. Now here's the challenge. Do I need seam allowance? Yes and no. I think I'm going to get the right shape that I need it to be finished. And I think I may end up doing 1/2 inch seam allowances. Maybe. We will see. Sitting right here. Where would I hide my ruler from me? I forgot. I put it away. Okay. I'm going to make sure that I have a absolute square line. I'm going to tee this up onto my, I know this is straight edge. And hopefully I have a pen. Aha. I like these cookie Sharpies. They're like my absolute favorite and they last forever. Let me pull up her picture real quick. Here we go. I really think it's flat on top and the point is just on the bottom. I really feel like it's the shape of the Princess Leia belt. I think I'm going to use this, but shave like a 1/2 inch off the top at least. So, let me mark where my middle line should be. It was 13.25 inches. Oops. Put that down. All right, let me see. Switching cameras up. Don't worry, this is live. So I'm figuring this out as we go. All right, I got my bright pink line right here. Hopefully you guys can see it. And I'm gonna put the point on this side. Hey, look, the point's actually in the center of my belt. All right, sorry about hitting the camera. I mean microphone. Jeez. I think I like this point better. All right, when I get a really thick line like this and I'm not sure which one I'm supposed to cut, I usually go in with a different color, but all of those pencils are not sharp. Oh well. I know this is the one because it looks better. I feel like this belt is too wide and I want to take off about the seam allowance worth around the whole entire thing. But I don't want this part to be too narrow because these are supposed to be my squares. Rectangles. Rectangles with weird dots on top of them. So let's talk about those for a second. Hi, hold on one second. Hi. Wrong camera. I'm doing this. Okay, right there. So I have these vintage buttons that you're supposed to cover. They have little covering things and stuff like that. But they're like the right size, shape, and color for the centers of the little metal plates on the belt. So I want to pick out, I don't know if I have enough of them being all the same size. But if I keep the ones that are close or, you know, like balance it out because they're all really close in size, I feel like I can fudge it to make it look about right. And then I have soda cans right there. I will grab those in 2 seconds to cut up to turn into the parts. But I have to figure out what scale everything's going to be. Those ones are too small. Those ones are a good size. They're too small. Those are a good size. Okay. I think, what size are these? Size 36, 7/8 of an inch. And then these are the part that has the number on them, but they look about the same size. But how many am I gonna need? Okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Between 5 and 7 depending on how many plates there are. Oh, thanks, Yanalith. Sorry, I'm not looking at the chat right now because I have so many different places to look right now that I am definitely confusing myself as to where to look. But Yanalith says, I wish I could find you a picture of her belt. It looks like her belt is all silver. No, I think her belt is white with silver plates on it. The belt itself is white, and then the plates are silver. Yes, because you get a full picture of her belt in the celebration scene. But I believe the celebration scene, she has a different dress on, but the same belt. I'm not sure, but it looks like the same belt. Okay, because... Okay. Alright, so... I need between 5 and 7, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, 5 it is. Alright, let me go back to this camera. And let's kind of scale this down. I want to keep this point, so I'm going to come in just the seam allowance. I'm going to go on the outside of my line instead of my inside. That really only gives me about 2 inches for these plates. And then, are these buttons too big for the centers? This feels really tiny, but also really, like, maybe I do need this extra little bit not to trim it off. Let me cut this out and then fold it so we can just divide it into equal pieces. Okay. Paper, scissors. I'm not going to cut this end yet because I still have to have the overlap for the hook and loop fastener. Going to fold all this excess away and ignore it for the moment, and we're going to find the center and mark it with a fold. Find the center, mark it with a fold. All right, let me pull up the reference image. Okay, so if her belt center buckle plate is about the size of a belt buckle, that's about this big. That could totally fit in that space. And then the next one would be, okay, so let me mark all of these with dotted lines. All right, I'm marking all of my fold lines so you guys can see my folds a little bit easier with these dotted lines. Put this to the side. center back. This is center front. This is side seam. And I'm going to find the centers of each of these sections. All right. I then take this. This square is 2 by 6. Sorry, the hamsters are turning and I'm thinking of the pattern right now. Let me go to... Okay. Princess Leia, well, Wonder Woman belt. All my current markings. Is it blasted out so you guys can't quite see the pink markings? Rectangle. Seeing about how big all the pieces would need to be, you know, because it's also the shape. This line to that line and make sure they stay flat. What am I doing? I'm just starting to do it without even talking it through. All right, so this is my side seam. This is the halfway point between my side seam and my center front. And the halfway point between that is right here. This point right here is too narrow to look normal. It will be doubled. But if I go the halfway point between here, I feel like that doubled this size right here is a good size. So I'm marking this line right here for the width of the center plate. But then how much space am I going to put in between each plate? Let's pull up the picture. All right, it looks like there's about 2 fingers, about an inch maybe between the center front plate and the 2 side plates. The side plates, the dots seem to sit on the princess seams. So maybe the center plate is slightly narrower than I expected. Center seam, yeah, okay. So if I do a plate right here, box right here. With, where's one of my reference dots? With the dot right there. Let's go. Okay. So have a square drawn on right here. And then I am going to bring, it can't be completely straight. I think it has to be tilted. Or is it an oblong? That's a cute. I have a reference point of where the dots go. So this half a dot is right about here, and then there's a dot right there. The camera's not going focused on it, but two by three. I think I'm going to do them as 2 by 3 rectangles. I think that'll be a good scale to do them at. Yeah. And then if it's 2 by 3 on that rectangle, I can do 2.5. Let me pull up the picture again. Looks like it goes all the way down following the point. And it's not super curved as I have it. It's more of a straight line. So, let me straighten up this line because that is too curvy of a line for this. That's a better shape. And then that's my shape. Reference image. There's, yeah, goes all the way to the bottom, goes to about there. I'm gonna go ever so slightly bigger because I can always trim it down, but I can't make it larger. That looks better. All right. All right, we have a starting spot. Let's go to webcam. Okay, I have this cardboard box. I have lots of snack packaging today because it is a good cardboard. It is not a corrugated, sorry, variegated. Thinking of yarn there. Corrugated cardboard. It's actually just like a good card stock. Trace this on here. Oh, I missed a phone call, but it didn't interrupt the stream, so that's a good thing. You know what? It's okay. This isn't going to be seen. I can draw all over this. Okay, let's see. This is a 2x3 square on cardboard for the plate there, and a plate. So it would be 2 plates here and right here. Probably centered there. So I would need, I'm going to use the cardboard as the center cores of my metal. Let me just cut out enough to have all the ones I need. I just need 4. Trying to get the ones that are like nice on this side, because this is the side that I'm going to attach to the soda cans. At least that's the plan. I could mark these each individually, but this is a good pattern. Make sure it's square. I'll flip it. Two. Ralph Mork, just hit midnight here. Better go off to bed. Have a good stream, Felicia, and later, y'all. Well, thank you for joining us, Ralph. I appreciate that you were here. Oh, yes, Not Top, I missed it. Ionalis shared a really nice close-up photo of her belt, in case you missed it. Yes, I did. Let me go pull it up. Hold on. Find the mouse. Go up here. Hold on. I see her belt. Okay, these are good pictures, but okay. Let me cut these out. 2x3. I feel like these are good starting shapes, and then we can refine them more into the actual shapes of the belt, because 1, 2, 3, and one more. want them to be as... as possible. All right. You know, now that I'm on the ground, I don't have my little bin under the table to throw my stuff in. It's over there. So I'll just put it over there for now. Okay, let's do the centerpiece. You know, I think this is kind of a giant shape of what I'm trying to make it. But, yeah. Let me draw a center line so I can make sure it's even. Over to the other side. You know, is this really going to be symmetrical? Oops. Okay, this marker's officially dead. That's okay. We will survive. But, Dan does junk. I use snack boxes for pattern material. They're great. Reduce, reuse, and recycle. And if you don't have to go out and buy things, why go out and buy things? Because what I really need is this weight of cardboard in little bits and pieces. Marked the wrong spot on this half because I was looking from the back. Yep, I did. Where's my dead marker? Oh well, I'm just gonna mark it here. That's much better. Okay, let's refine these shapes. Let me pull up my reference image. Okay, so I think this definitely narrows down. I thought this point would be pointier. I think I shaved it too far down when I... don't hate it. I really don't. It's not a bad point. But I think I'm going to bring it in to... what's the half of here and here? have a dead marker, but it's better than no marker. The struggles of crafting. I could get up and go get the right tool, but then I would lose my train of thought. Let's go off this side. And shortening the point, I only shortened it about 1/2 inch, shortening the point, but if I tried to put this point down here, and it's this point. Oh, I'm a little bit wider because of my marker. I'm like, that pattern is off more than I expected it to be. But it's the width of the marker. It makes a big difference, especially when you're starting to get on curves. So because I'm on this curve, I think I need to come up ever so slightly and trim this down. Yep. Looking at the reference images, that looks about right. So let me trim this down. Okay. Let me mark that. I think I'm going to come in about, whoops. Line this up, that up, this is off by this much. Come up to here, and then come in about that much. I'm just kind of eyeballing it so that it looks better and looks sort of like that picture that I'm looking at. Trim this down. All right. Mark this side too. I marked my trimming spots. Okay, let's see if this looks any better. Starting to look more and more the shape that I have in my head. And here is our dot. And the belt. Hold it up to our reference. I think I can come up on the ends just ever so slightly more. Yeah. I think it's more pointed. I took a lot of that point out and I think it So this is why you never use marker when you are patterning, because the width of the marker over the number of seams you have and edges will add up. This marker is about 1/8 of an inch or 1 millimeter in the width of it. So whether you're going on the outside of the line or the inside of the line, and when you trace it, you add that into it. So your pattern will not be correct if you do it with markers. But markers are way easier to see. You guys can hardly see it as it is, but it's more camera friendly. So usually using the sharpest pen you can, or pencil. We never used pencil with wedding dresses because the lead and dust with the white fabrics is just not a good combination. But then again, neither are ink smudges, and so quick drying ink is important when you're working with white fabrics. Ask me how I know. Okay, let me test this one more time. How do I like that? Perfect. Okay, I like that. I'm going to use this to make sure that this, yeah, that's good. Okay. Oh, I have a missed call. Another missed call. Okay. Now let's kind of refine these shapes. Are these a little skinny? Let me look at the reference pictures. No, I think they're pretty on with what it should be. But how slanted do I cut the corners? Because they're not just cut off at a perfect. They're kind of cheated towards the fronts and the tops. I think if I go a ½ an inch down and 3/4 of an inch long, so 3/4 of an inch this way and ½ an inch down this way, mark those points on all of my little cards and then trim those off. I think that's the plan. So let me mark 3/4 of an inch, or ½ an inch, 3/4 of an inch. Sorry for hitting the camera. I mean, microphone. Okay. Draw this in. I don't want to draw them all in and then go, ooh, that's the wrong one. Let me do a test one first. And then we'll do them all the same. Yeah, that's a good. A good shape. Okay. If I line them all up, I can cut all of them at the same time if I have good scissors. Are these scissors good scissors? They're not the best, but they're not the worst. I did it. All right, let me mark this corner now by flipping it all over. Down. This guy. I don't like the distortion I got by cutting them all at the same time, so one at a time it is. Whatever, we got this. 4 of this shape thingamajig plate. Now, the fun part. Whoops. Don't fall. Please make, nope, it's not gonna make it through the stream. Hold on one second. Oh. Okay. I had to get up anyways. Get my. Hi, Toby. How you doing? I'm not going anywhere yet. All right. I'm about to do something that is going to ruin these scissors. But these scissors cost me a whole $1 because it was before the dollar store went up to $1.25. And I bought like a whole bunch of these to use for a backdrop. And this pair is going to be sacrificed. I'm going to be cutting the can with the scissors. We're just going to do it. I'm making this as jagged of an edge as possible. It's okay, it's the first one. I don't know what I'm doing yet. Well, I had some water from when I cleaned it out. Oh well. First the worst, but it's okay. I think I don't have to try and get so high up on the top where the curve is, because that's what's keeping it curving. Cut this piece off. Shards of metal everywhere. Look at that. Let's get this. Okay. So now I have a piece of metal. I have my card. Can I get 2 out of a can? Let's see. If I fold it in half. I could get 2 out of a can. Nice. All right, let me start heating up. What size glue sticks do I have in here? Hold on, that will depend on which glue. Oh, I have the little size. Okay, so we'll use this glue gun. This one it is. Turn it off. All right, normally I would use contact cement. Rubber cement is not going to work. Contact cement is my preferred glue, but I glued my contact cement jar shut and I have been very unsuccessful in trying to open it despite every method I've come at it with. I cannot get into my contact cement, so hot glue it is, but I like my hot glue gun, so at least there's that. Cut this piece in half. This guy over here. piece of metal. You know what? I think this is a job for duct tape. Yeah, I do. I think this is a job for duct tape. Knocktop says, looking forward to seeing the finished results. I'm heading out for now. See you later. Well, thank you for being here, Knocktop. Welcome. Danda's junk. Don't slice yourself. At least it'll be entertaining if I do, but I'm not going to, hopefully. Just gonna tape this down. I'm going to fold it, just pre-fold it. I'm really glad I have these cardboard pieces on the inside because I can just fold the metal. And I have a clean line right where it needs to go. So I'm going to notch my corners, trim down my seam allowance, and then give it a good piece of duct tape on the back. This is totally it's what you got. Do it with whatever you got project. Smoosh it, and then you smoosh it, and then you smoosh it. Don't smoosh your fingers too hard into it because they're still like, you have to be safe because there are sharp edges. Sharp things are sharp and hot things are hot. I'm going to push down this one. Oh, I didn't cut there. Oh, it's as ugly as sin on the back, but on the front, it's a pretty good metal thingamajig. Little platelet. You smoosh it and then you smoosh it, and you smoosh it. Okay. Trim off the back pieces. So I could trim off the whole excess tab pieces that I have back here that I'm using. I left it kind of big because it gives me safer finger area to smoosh, but I like how solid it makes it feel. So I'm just going to leave it and put a big piece of duct tape on the back. See how that looks. If it's terrible, we'll reassess. If it works, aluminum tape. I have aluminum tape, but aluminum tape with sharp edges is just, it's not going to hold together. You need the threads, the fibers that they have running, the grid in the duct tape. But you could aluminum tape your cardboard. I've done that to get metal pieces, but this soda can is less likely to get really dinged up but still stay flexible. Look at that. I think this turned out really good. It looks nice and it feels nice. Again, I normally would do this with contact cement, but you know, duct tape for the win right now. Look at that. It's solid. And you know what? I don't think this is going to be that hard to attach. because you could totally contact cement. So, 1 down, 4 more to go. And I only have 1 can currently open. Alright. Let's try and do that again. Dan does junk. If Ralph's stuck around, he'd love the fact that you're using metal for this. Right? I'm not melting it down, but I am smooshing it, so. And in the spirit of recycling, I am recycling this old can into a futuristic belt, so. Reduce, reuse, and recycle. There's 1 piece of okay. Iana, nobody listens to me. And don't use gloves, sad face. Okay. I cut myself more if I'm using gloves because I can't feel what I'm doing. I need my hands. I know it's jagged. Don't do this at home, kids. Be safe. Yeah. These kind of cuts are like nasty paper cuts. Nasty paper cuts. Alright. Repeat my steps. I taped the cardboard to the back of the soda can. I am going around and folding all the edges over to mark where I need to trim out the excess. I have it duct taped on the back, holding it in place, and then smooshing it and smooshing it and smooshing it. Okay, this little piece, this little curly cues, I'm going to cut them off because they look dangerous and they don't lay flat and I don't need them. So now they're gone. Much better. My fabric scissors are over here, trembling in fear. They see me just going to town on this can with these scissors. It's okay. It was worth it. Okay, folding the edges, folding the edges. Ooh. And that's why I tape up a lot of my coworkers because they cut themselves all the time. It's a good thing I'm not squeamish when dealing with blood. Yes. Safety first. First. Yeah, safety first. No, I get it. You have to really be careful. And I'm live and I'm doing this. And with my luck, good thing these streams aren't monetized. Because then there is an issue. Okay. All right, let me go through and snip my corners so that it lays flat. You know, I'm going to take a whole wedge out of this corner. Sharper corners are easier to see, that's for sure. Oh, that corner can completely come off. Yeah, I don't like being super close to the edge. It's not as easy to work with. I kind of like having all of this excess to fold over. But I'm limited on, hold on, where's that corner? It's easy to see from the front. There we go. Smoosh it and you smoosh it and you smoosh it. Did I do 2 pieces on the back of this one? No, I only did 1. Okay. Smoosh it and you smoosh it and you smoosh it. Okay, I was so worried about this metal part, but it is done for 2 of them. I have a couple more to go. Pretty solid. Are you guys still there? Are we still live? Toby completely bumped everything and it went black, but it came back up. So let me know that you can hear me. Okay, let me see. It says I'm still streaming. Okay, so. And you guys are here. Okay, I see that. Oh, this is so melting right now. I didn't need the hot glue. I'm going to turn it off for the moment. It's still going. Okay. Oh my gosh. The dots. They match perfectly. I love it. I love it. I love everything about this. Let's see how it fits on here. And it's, look at that. And if it's 2, okay. Microphone's still on, but it has come undone while I'm live. 2 seconds while I troubleshoot. Okay. This should be better. Okay. We're here. Still want this. I don't want to lose it. It goes right there. Actually, I'm going to put it back into its box so I don't lose it at all. Okay. Let's open up another soda can, shall we? Let's do a little less crazy as we did last time. You know what? I'm just making a mess. I'm embracing the mess. I will sweep when I'm done. Oh, this is... Oh, this is an awful noise, but shh, it's okay. Another dangerous shard. It's okay. We got this. Fold this in half. Alright. Let me tape these to the back. I know what I'm doing now. At least I feel like I do. At least it's not brand new and I'm trying to figure out the pattern. Oh, good. Thank you guys for letting me know that you can hear me. And hello, 45th Clown. How are you today? Okay. I'm going to do these last two at the same time because generally when I'm doing multiples of something, I do the first one to figure out the pattern, make my mistakes, etc. And then I do the rest in a batch. But I still had everything cut out, so I just did that. Can you hear that my neighbors are mowing their lawn? I feel like this is the quietest spot that I have to film in. And this is the first time I've like actually heard outside noises, so. At least I'm really good at ignoring them, so it could be that too. All right, this piece has some weird curly cues on it. I'm just going to trim off right now. Look how easy that is. Not as dangerous or scary anymore. It's the jagged edges that are scary, I think. Okay. I'm just gonna cut and then smoosh. See how that goes. Yeah, I'm making a huge mess. There's no way around this mess, but it's okay. Fun problems. Ooh, this edge. Really cutting it close. Literally cutting it close. Start with the trickiest edge, which is this edge right here. It's the trickiest edge because I didn't give myself really that much edge to work with. You know what? I thought I was saving myself by cutting it beforehand, but I don't know if it's really that much better. That's not that bad. Okay, I think I'd like to fold it before I cut my edges because this gives me rough corners and I do not like these corners. Like, I think I ruined it. Huh. Yeah, okay, this is how you learn. I think it's definitely safer to fold it and then cut off your extra. That way your corners are safer because this although gives you a crisper corner and probably would work if we're using other materials. With this sharp aluminum, fold it, then cut off the extra. So I really like making metal looking things out of the aluminum tape, but mostly it's details or little tiny things. But being able to cut aluminum cans with this pair of scissors is amazing. Do not cut your mom's sewing scissors or your sewing scissors. Do not use your sewing scissors to cut this. Please use dollar store scissors, garbage scissors. You still want them to cut, but you're not cutting anything besides cardboard with those scissors after this project. All right. Uno, dos, tres. I think these look amazing. Well, better than I expected. I don't know what I expected. Had a vague idea in my head. Let me cut off these little curly edges. Those are the part that scare me. Starts to get really muddied doing it the folding way first, but it definitely has way cleaner corners, like not sharp edges corners. The one where I cut the corners is this one, because there's one corner that's kind of bothers me, but it's not as bad as I thought once I smooshed it. It's not going to cut anybody. Knock on wood. All right. Now I'll go through and cut off all the excess. Yeah, I like the control I have. Ionolith wants to know, could you have rolled your edges so you bend the metal over the belt material and then use the I can't see that word because it's behind a little heart, choice screws to attach them more permanently? I was actually kind of thinking of stapling these on. Not stapling, but sewing them on, more or less. Like poking 2 holes and then attaching it to the belt that way, and then hiding my attachment with the uncovered buttons to cover set. Anyways, that was my plan, because it is bending it over the material. That's why I cut out the cardboard, was to bend it over the So it has a solid core. But Chicago screws. Oh, there you go. Yes, I could use Chicago screws to attach it. But then again, I'm not necessarily using my ideal materials. I'm using what I have here without having to go to the store or buy anything super special for this project. So I probably will just be stabbing a couple holes in the center and then hiding it, my stab holes. I don't know, still thinking about it, but I could quite literally staple it because it would staple fairly easily. Because in the movie, the screws were recessed. Yeah, I've seen belts put together like that, and that is probably the most correct way to do it. But I'm just really glad that I have the metal plates without having to make solid metal plates and then having to drill into whole solid metal plates. Because you need tin snips, and I feel like that's even more dangerous. Okay, it says, because in the movie the screws were recessed and because those look like snaps. These are just domes. They're not actual snaps. But snaps would be really cool if I could snap these things on and off, but I just want them to be permanently attached. Alright, let's see. One, two, three, four. Not bad. You guys want to see my mess that I'm making? Look at this lovely mess. But look at these really great pieces. And center dots. Yeah, it's the same size. So yay, okay. So these would be the center dots. And then there's this piece. Okay, one more soda can. No, I'm not getting any better at cutting up these cans. wonder if these scissors are getting sharper from cutting the aluminum. Because you sharpen your scissors by cutting aluminum foil. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but if you have those like paper punches, like those giant hole punches and stuff, and it's starting to get dull, if you punch it through aluminum foil, it'll sharpen it. If your scissors are starting to get dull, not your fabric scissors, again, I repeat, not your fabric scissors. If your scissors get dull, you can fold up a wad of aluminum foil and then cut it like fringe or cut along the thing with the blades, and it will sharpen your scissors. So, random information. Is this big enough? Is my question. It's ever so slightly not, but I actually was thinking about shortening it ever so slightly, so this is my excuse too. I'm cutting off all the pink lines because remember how I told you you don't really pattern with a Sharpie or a marker because it easily adds up all the way around your edges? Well, it definitely did on this one, so. Looks lovely now. Like, there's really not a lot of overlap on the top or the point, but if I cut this can out a little closer to my edges, I probably can fit it in better. So I'm going to start cutting at the bottom first, cut around that edge, and then cut to the top, and just cut right at the fold, because if I cut towards the top of the can, it's not going to flatten out. It'll like have that, it'll want to stay in a cylinder, but if I go right below that fold, I will get as much can as I possibly can. Hello, Ace. Welcome. Okay, let's see. Where shall I stop it? I don't want to get my hands, but... Oh. Cutting close to the folds is where it's really hard with the scissors because that's where it has the most structure and support. That's how cans work. I'm making super jagged edges. If I didn't cut myself earlier, this might be my time. Let's not do it. Okay, if that is not the jaggediest edge. Let's go. This can is super dripping because I cleaned out these soda cans before the stream, so they're still full of water. Okay, let's see if this is a little bit better of a piece. It has more of a curve to it, so it, like, I need to trim this so that it lays flatter, but hey, it helped. It really did help, so it was worth doing. I'm going to, however, trim these edges a little bit away from the center so that I break that fold. There we go, and it can lay a little flatter. Okay. don't want to put any permanent fold marks where you're gonna notice it. So just took a little of the tension out of the bend that I cut into. All right, without peeking, what type of soda was this? Tape and you know what? I'm going to extend this just a little bit more artificially with a piece of duct tape. Let's see if that helps. If anything, it makes the edge more safe. Ding, ding, ding. Dan does junk. You got it right. It was squirt. Okay. Yes. 'Twas what was free and already here. All right, so... I think I'm going to trim off some of my excess on this one because... Do I want to? I want to at least do this. How much does that fold over? You know, I don't hate having a lot of excess because it makes it more solid. You smoosh it and then you smoosh it and then you smoosh it. All right, here's where it's a little bit dangerous because it's right at the point and it's right on the edge. I'm really glad that I gave myself a little bit of extra duct tape to work with. It helps with the smooshing without getting too close to that raw edge. I only want it to look sharp. Nice. Okay, I like this. Let me cut off my excess, these edges. I think the duct tape makes this a way safer project. It makes it easier to cut for some reason too. Not bad, not bad. And now the top. Okay, let's see. This one's definitely harder than the other pieces because it has the tiniest little edges on the folds, but I'm trying not to mess it all up in shape. Okay. Trim this. Whew, I can breathe. No, I can't, not yet, almost. Okay, there we go. Let me take the back up. Not bad, right? I love it. Okay. So we are almost to 5:13. I think this is probably where I cannot talk. Where I'm going to call it a day for this project. I do have a deadline of May the 4th to get this done. So this will get finished, but I'm going to finish this up and then call it a day. And then next week we'll cut it out of the leather. And you know where I got the leather from? Again, this is a no-buy project. This is strictly out of things from my house because I feel like I can make anything out of junk that I have laying around to a degree. You know what I mean. Depends on how much work I want to put into it. But this project, I think I'm going to do 3. So since we're going to be working with the leather next week, I'll probably be on the ground next Tuesday also because when you're sewing with leather, there's a lot of hammering involved and it always makes me laugh. So again, don't want to do that on a glass table. I suppose I could have probably done all of this on a glass table, but I was hoping, like I had good intentions of getting this all completely done. So much sticky stuff. You know, Ionolith, after doing the duct tape layer, you can always put a layer of the aluminum foil over the duct tape, but then you have all the, it'll just emphasize all the lumps and bumps. So maybe not, but I think this is a good little center of a belt. Little button in the center. Is that too small? If it is, I probably can make a bigger one. But Danda's junk. Yay, junk, LOL. Ionoliths, that's why you keep the scraps. Okay, so I have the belt metal pieces done. But I have to attach them to a belt. This is what the foam, it is way too thick. It's just not the right. This is perfect for Wonder Woman because her belt is a metal belt. I believe Leia's is an actual leather belt, so I wanted to use leather over just using a white fabric or a white vinyl. I didn't have a white vinyl. I do have a lot of white fabric, however. But I have a lot of leather left over from a couch I tore up. And so this is a seat cushion. Look at that. It goes on one of the corner seats. I painted a section of it white. So I'm actually going to do 2 layers so that it is going to be front and back white, so you're not going to see any of the brown. But this is going to be comfortable. And getting a piece of leather this big and this nice would be ridiculous. So I skinned a couch. It was well used, well loved, and on its end, like ready to be gotten rid of. And instead of sending the whole thing to the junkyard, I salvaged the leather. And I have done so many projects with this leather. I think I even gave a piece to Odin that I think he used for Mjolnir's handle. Maybe not. But I think we did use it for a handle of something. But this stuff is great. So this is going to be the belt next week. We have the pattern more or less figured out. We have the metal pieces. We get to cut out the belt. I can sew through that leather. It's really easy to sew through, and I have leather needles. But you don't see any stitching marks, and maybe by next week I will possibly be able to get contact cement, because it would be probably the most ideal material to work with, especially with leather. Contact cement and leather go together like 2 peas in a pod, because I don't want to use hot glue. Hot glue I feel like would just pop, and I would be visiting the cosplay repair booth if I ran out in that. So I know I can stitch it, but contact cement probably will be the best way to go about this. But we'll figure it out next week. That's future me problem, not current me problem. Let me see. Hold on. Oops. Where's my mouse? Ionolith, I tried to open up that link that you sent me, but it's just sending me to the general page, not the specific item. But oh wow. Okay. Ionolith is asking, how thick do you need your leather belt to be? So this is too thick. I would do half of this, and this is at 1/8 inch, so a 16th inch, the most. This is really supple and bends and will be comfortable, but I just want it to, like, I can either line it in like white fabric, or I can just make it leather on both sides. So, and I can attach it and then hide how I attached it if I line it. So fun problems for next week. Yes, Ace. Contact cement and glue is 100% perfect for the project. Oh, leather, not glue. contact cement and leather is 100% perfect. Yes, exactly. If you want to hem a leather skirt, it is contact cement and a hammer. You just fold it up and you rubber mallet. You bang it and it will be perfect, and that's how they finish off leather seams on the insides of any leather garment. It is contact cement and hammered. So that'll be next week. It'll be fun. Yeah. This costume's coming together. I have a fun event to wear it to. I have a fun project coming up. I've been commissioned to make another crazy project. Remember those avant-garde weird shaped dresses? I'm doing another one of those. It's going to be green. It's going to be a cone. It's going to be amazing. So that's going to happen soon. I wanted to finish Princess Leia before I started that, but I just got all the materials to do that, and my brain has been chewing on those problems, and those are fun problems. So I've been doing a lot of cone math. Trying to figure out proportions of everything. So, like I said, fun problems. Ace, never thought of using a mallet? Nice. Yes, no, rubber mallets. You need those for working with leather. It just... So you know how your seams get really bulky? You need to like hammer those seams flat and they will lay flat and it'll just... It works. Leather, you just need to beat it with a hammer and it works so much better. Yes. Contact cement, rubber mallet, yeah, and then like a skeever, I think it's what it's called is the technical term. It shaves off the edges of, if you need to debulk your edges even more in leather, but you can also do that with a rotary tool, which is messy and not really the best. You can use a razor blade. Skeever's like a fancier, like a safer way to do the razor blade, but yeah, no, there's a lot of ways to work with it, and leather is one of my favorite materials to work with because once you know what you're doing, it's so easy to work with. Beat it into submission. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes, Iana with the skeever. I have a... Yes, it does help get rid of the bulk so you can put in rivets and such. So a rubber mallet and a 5-pound sledgehammer. Haha, got it. Okay, wrap your sledgehammer in leather before you start hammering it, because the reason you don't use regular hammers is because it will leave dirt and rust and metal, oil, grease, I don't know. It makes a messy spot that you cannot clean out, and then also it will leave the imprint of the hammer itself. So if there's like a grid pattern on your hammer or just a really clean circle, that it'll put circles on it. So that's why you want a rubber mallet, so it's not such a it's not like stamping the leather when you hit it with too metally or sharp or heavy. Like the weight, I don't know if it's that big of a deal, but it's the hitting the metal, you're gonna stamp it, not brand it, but you're gonna permanently mar your leather. That's why the rubber mallet helps, and sometimes people will wrap their rubber mallets with leather to help just make a softer blow, so that it gives it doesn't like leave spots, it doesn't leave lines, it doesn't leave creases. So yeah, the more you learn. So next week it'll be fun. We'll start beating it with a hammer. Rubber mallet. It might be a hammer. I couldn't find my rubber mallet. I can't find any of my hammers when I need them. And then when I need a rubber mallet, all I can find is like all my hammers. That's okay. All right. It is time for me to get out of here. I hope you guys learned something. Don't cut yourself playing with sharp edges, kids. But this is a great material for metal details on cosplays. It's actual metal. You can cut it with scissors, wrap it around cardboard, wrap it around foam, wrap it around wood. You can stamp it, you can draw on it, you can probably even sew through it, but I would throw your needle out after you were done. But I hope you guys learned something. Hope you guys had fun. I am going to get out of here, and I will see you guys next week on Tuesday. I don't know if it's about the same time, but I like this time frame, but we'll figure it out, okay? All right, let me see. Go to